Let's talk about the main event. You know, great performance by DDP, won every round on 2 of the judges' scorecards. Felt like Sean Strickland never really got out of first gear. What's your take on the fight and how do you view it?
I agree with you. Sean is usually really good at shutting people down. And like Izzy, when he fought Izzy felt like it looked like he couldn't get into a rhythm, and he was in his face, pressuring him the whole time. Feels like that was what Dricus did. I'll tell you something fascinating that I noticed tonight for the first time. I don't know why. See if you notice this. So Sean Strickland, the way that he acts leading up to fights, right? Normally when you have people who act the way that he acts, you see signs of it in a fight. Who is more focused, professional, and solid in a fight than he is? You know, when he gets hurt, no sticking out the tongue or no, that didn't hurt me, anything. The guy stays focused, keeps coming forward. There's never any hint of how he acts outside the octagon when he's in there. Absolute professional the whole time. It's actually fascinating. I don't know if I've ever seen that with a guy who acts the way he does leading up to fights.
It must just be his happy place or something.
Huh?
It must be his happy place.
I don't know. Or this is all, you know what I mean? I've never seen a guy so solid and professional. Gets his nose broke, snaps it back into place and keeps fighting, gets hit with some nasty shots. When he gets hit with big shots, he doesn't start shaking his head and doing all the goofy things that people like that do. I mean, you can go into any combat sport and you've seen it. Nobody was more professional during the fight than this guy is. It's fascinating, actually.
And another thing on Strickland as well that I think all the talking makes people sort of overlook is that he's very tough as well. Like, he ate some big shots from DDP. The nose thing, like, usually if you see a fighter freak out from the pain, they lose their composure. Like you said, he just gets right back into it and dials back in.
100%. Never, looks like he never slides off his game plan, stays focused, doing what he's supposed to do, even with a broken nose. Yeah, I agree. It's fascinating.
And on the other side with Dricus, I mean, it got a little bit weird towards the end, but it would be said that in the first round, he actually looked maybe more technical than he has in...
Well, you know what's funny is, and I meant it as a compliment, when I said he fights like a white guy dances, right? Like awkward and whatever. It's all, they've been focusing on that. I was like, don't listen to the shit that I say. I'm, you know, whatever he's doing works. He's the world champion. And how do you spar for a guy like that, you know? Don't change anything that he's doing on account of what I say.
I imagine this has to be discussed on Tuesday, but it would feel like Dricus Hamzat is a pretty big fight that you guys could put on right now.
Yeah. We'll talk about it on Tuesday, though.
Okay. Co-main event, Zhang came out-muscled the woman who was meant to be stronger than her, out-wrestled the woman who was meant to out-wrestle her. Amazing performance by her. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know about you guys or how you felt, but lots of people were texting me saying that Weili loses tonight and, you know, it's over, and she was an underdog, and I bet the casinos got murdered tonight because I bet a lot of people threw money on Tatiana. But when you look at Weili, she's one of the greatest of all time, the best female fighter, you know, in the sport right now. And at the press conference, you know, Tatiana was talking about what she was going to do and what about her wrestling. And Weili said, this isn't a wrestling match, this is a fight. And she actually out-wrestled Tatiana tonight and absolute stud. And such a huge, huge star in China for us. She trended, I want to say she trended #1 like 4 times during fight week. 100 million views just on UFC platforms in China. And tonight she was trending #1 in all the big territories for us. So huge star.
I would assume then that you would look to bring her to China at some point in the future.
What's that?
Would you like to take her to China at some point in the future?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the talent that's coming out of, you know, they all look good tonight. So, yeah, it was a really, really good week for China.
Yeah.
Weili,
hi.
Congratulations on the victory. I'm curious, you know, you played it pretty cool all week when people asked you about Tatiana calling herself the uncrowned champion and saying she would have already been the champion if she wasn't hurt. So I guess what are the emotions after not just getting through Tatiana, but doing so in very impressive fashion?
就是说赛前啊，大家都特看好这个苏亚雷斯，而且他也被称为就是无冕之王嘛。那么今天比赛结束了，不光是赢了，而且是以这种碾压的方式，以他最擅长的方式碾压了他。 那你现在有什么心情是怎么样？
就是我特别感谢塔提安娜，然后这次来我们一块儿比赛，然后展示女性的力量。
I really appreciate Tatiana to take this fight and let both of us show how good female fighters can be.
然后其实我也知道很多人就是说我没有打过这么强的摔跤手，然后塔提安娜也从来没有输过，但是呢，我不去管别人说什么，我只专注自己，然后做好自己。
I know many people say that I never fought such a good grappler before, and Tatiana is undefeated, but I don't really care what others say. I just focus on myself.
You seem to have her scouted pretty well. As whenever she shot for a takedown, it looked like you were defending before the takedown even happened. So I'm curious, did anything she do in there surprise you? Because from the outside looking in, it just seems like you had game planned perfectly for Tatiana.
所以啊，今天尤其是这个防摔，感觉你的准备特别充分。每次他要爆摔，你都能马上做出反应，而且就是第一时间从防摔到反摔都有一系列的准备，所以感觉到你是有一个明确的比赛计划。所以，这些都是你有备而来吗？他在爆摔方面有哪些让你是意想不到的？
其实我摔跤练了很多，准备了很多，也有特别好的摔跤教练，有张帅，还有 Frank 一直帮我。其实我上场的时候，我脑子完全是放空了，我不要给自己设定一个限制，就是害怕他的摔跤，防住他的摔跤。我只是想像水一样，就是流畅。
So I know I prepared a lot about her wrestling and grappling. I have such a great team on that. My coach Josh, Frank, my training partner Zhang Shuai. So before the fight, what I did is just empty my mind, trust my body, because I know my body knows what I'm gonna do in the fight.
Dana was in here and he said that your team was waiting for him in the back, and earlier this week you had said if it was up to you, you would go up and try for a second belt against Valentina. Dana said he was going to talk to your team after. I'm curious, did your team and Dana talk after his scrum?
所以啊，就之前也说，如果这场比赛拿下了之后，你想生重挑战一下第二条腰带。然后呢，刚才大拿也在这儿，也有人问他这个问题了。他说有可能吧，他也没给一个确定答案。所以你跟你的团队会在赛后跟他沟通一下这事儿吗？
一会儿可以沟通一下，问一问吧。就是所有的东西可能都需要一个时机，对。如果有了好的机会，然后对手也很愿意接，或者他的伤病也没有，然后所有的东西，天时地利人和来了，这个比赛可能就会来了。
Yeah, let's talk with Dana later. But I think everything is about timing. So if there is a good time for both of us and to make this fight happen, it happens.
Congratulations on the victory. Just how satisfying is this win? You know, I know you've said it. You know, the only thing that mattered was like those judges in Toronto declared you the winner. There is no drama. But you also said, you know, you wanted this rematch as kind of a way to end all questions that might be in fans' minds. And outside of that one judge who had it 4-1 you, it was a clean sweep on the other two 5-0. So just how satisfying is this win over Sean Strickland?
Absolutely. I think to go out there and beat him at his own game was a big priority. Because to go out there and fight the same fighters in Toronto, I could have done the exact same thing. But I didn't. I told you guys the whole week, I'm going to try and knock him out, try and submit him, or try, if this goes to decision, complete domination. And that's what happened. I thought he was going to initiate the wrestling. Earlier, he tried at some stage, but it was too late. And I mean, I just felt great. I felt great out there tonight to show progression. That was the biggest thing, to show that I can submit the best in the world, a guy that's never been submitted. I can go out there and knock people out, and I can go out there and outpoint a guy that outpoints anybody and do it over 5 rounds. That was a big win for me tonight, and it was a big performance. To stay calm. You know, when I got his nose, I didn't stay that calm, but that was just me smelling blood. But I got back to where I needed to be, and it was an incredible performance. It felt great.
Dana was in here, and he praised your performance, but he also was very impressed with Sean's tonight, where in the fact that when you broke his nose, a lot of fighters, that's the beginning of the end. They wilt. But Sean after a bit of fixing his nose, went right back into it and stood in front of you to throw down. Just talk
No. He was in front of me moving backwards. He didn't stand in front of me. Otherwise, the crowd wouldn't have been booing.
But in that moment when you did break his nose, did you think that you were going to put him away?
Yes, I did. I saw him. He was definitely rattled. I could see him going backwards. My coaches, I could hear them going, chill. They were saying, chill out. And I went, here we go. And I honestly thought he was gonna. But just shows you the caliber of fighter, the caliber of heart. He's deserving of all the hype. What a tough person, and I have all the respect in the world for him.
Did you, after that moment, he didn't go away from there? I think that was around 3 or 4 when you broke his nose. Were you in your mind, you're like, all right, if he's not going down from that, this is probably going to be another 2-round war right now?
No, in fights, especially at this level, the poker face is amazing. I have a terrible poker face. When I'm tired, I'm like, you can see I'm tired. Just know that I'm not going away. I don't care if you know I'm tired. I'm just not giving up. People have the poker face, and people don't just give up. I thought that he might, but he became awkward in the sense where he pulled the Dricus on himself. He started looking down, just looking away and throwing as hard as he could. And the punches didn't hurt me, but it was where I needed to say, okay, stay calm, let him hit me on the hands, and just keep on winning this fight and doing it the way we planned it, by beating him every single round.